In Wisconsin 2 years ago, Governor Walker resisted the demands of those protesters and eventually won at the polls. Won the right to negotiate union contracts without collective bargaining over things like health insurance. He took away the union's ability to force teachers to pay dues. So what's happened since? Good things, says Kyle Olson. He runs the Education Action Group, which has followed what's been happening in Wisconsin. So what's happened?
Well, we've seen choice expand, we've seen competition expand, but we've seen union membership drop dramatically. The teachers' unions have lost 30% of their members. Other public sector unions have lost 60% of their members. And so what's interesting is when you actually give teachers, you give public employees a choice, they opt out.
So before, they had to join, the same way I had to join my stupid union here in New York before I came to Fox when I worked for ABC. Mandatory union membership. If it's a union shop, everybody has to join. Now it's the individual teacher's choice.
That's right. So they can opt out. It was compulsory membership. And so basically you either paid the dues or you paid a percentage of the dues for them to still negotiate on your behalf. What happened is when teachers said, do I want to continue taking that out of my paycheck? Do I want to continue funding that organization that doesn't, represent my personal views? Many teachers said no.
Well, so now it's unfair to the unions because some will just freeload off the ones who do pay.
So then what they should do is they should tell those teachers, well, then go out and negotiate your own compensation. And we've talked to a lot of teachers that would say, please let me do that. Because what I can do is I can, basically defend the positive impact that I'm having on student learning. And what they would do is they would receive the compensation that they deserve for the positive job that they're doing.
The part of the Wisconsin flap that got the most publicity is the fight over collective bargaining. So the teachers didn't totally lose their right to bargain collectively.
Correct.
They can still bargain over pay.
Correct.
But they lost the right to bargain over things like health insurance.
Correct.
And that saved huge amounts of money? How?
Hundreds of millions of dollars. Instead of taking months or even years to negotiate a contract, there are districts that are literally taking 15 minutes to negotiate a contract. But then secondly, the board can actually act as a manager and they can say what's in the best interest of our employees, what's in the best interest of our children and our school district, and go out and shop for bids, get bids for health insurance, and drive down the costs.
They didn't shop for bids before?
No, because what would happen is they would negotiate the actual provider at the bargaining table. And conveniently, the teachers union had its own health insurance entity called WEA Trust, which had a very cozy relationship.
Yeah, this is hard to believe. So the union set a deal with a union company, with an insurance company they founded.
Correct.
And, ooh, surprise, it turned out this company was expensive.
That's right. What a surprise. Once Walker's reforms injected competition into the situation, rates dropped. There were districts that literally saw a 50% drop in their health insurance rates simply because there was competition. I
mean, in some ways, it's the beauty of competition. It shows, I'm glad you applaud that, it shows how clueless the media were, and we usually are, in that we didn't know what to look for, that different health insurance costs. We didn't think that would be an issue.
Right.
But one example, the family plan in 2 years dropped as health costs went up from $1,700 to $1,500, $200 cheaper.
That's right. And so, we hear about Obamacare and we hear about our own personal rates going up. But right after the law took effect, that school year, 62% of districts saw a decrease in their rates. This school year...
The Appleton School District kept the same insurance company, the same teacher from the company, but now they had competition, so they still saved $3 million.
That's right, and that's probably the perfect point, is that here you've got they didn't switch companies. They stayed with the teachers union preferred company, but because the teachers union preferred company had competition, suddenly they dropped their rates.
The other thing that changed without having to deal with collective bargaining is they used to have to bargain over the rules. It's the work rules, and hence these big rule books.
Correct.
They used to have rules about the room temperature and the paint color in the teacher's lounge.
That's right. There were contracts that said what color the teacher's lounge had to be. They actually have ranges in the contract of the room temperature for classrooms. I mean, these are the sorts of things that they would negotiate over, and they would negotiate for weeks and months over these sorts of things. I mean, to me, it shows this is how the system was set up for adults and not for children. I mean, when they are fighting,
unionized adults.
For unionized adults. When they're fighting over the paint color or the room temperature, the adults are running the show and the children are coming second.
Thank you, Kyle Olson. The Blob lost in Wisconsin, but the Blob never gives up.